I don't know if there's anything that feels more satisfying than when sneaky snakes get brutally called out.
The Prime Minister hiding under his desk. We're still astonished that it's now been weeks since the U.S. President said he would maybe jokingly that Canada would be the 51st state. It's incredible the Prime Minister of Canada has not responded to that, which just is an illustration of the absolute, total, pathetic weakness of Justin Trudeau and his entire chaotic government.
Which is honestly insane because everybody else has responded to those comments except for the leader of our country of whom they were directed at. Do you remember the movie Superbad?
What happened? Would you lose him?
He's a freak. He's the fastest kid alive.
This is not good.
He's the fastest kid alive.
Pierre Poilievre is literally the fastest kid alive right now. And honestly, people on the opposition, like the Liberal Party and their diehard supporters, they always throw around this insult at Poilievre saying, oh, well, he's a career politician, which I think is laughable because if you look into the background of anybody on the Trudeau side, every single one of them is a career politician who also comes from parents who were career politicians themselves. But okay, point the finger, don't point it back at me. But it makes me laugh because Pierre Poilievre, yeah, if being a career politician is supposed to be a bad thing, I think that's working pretty poorly in your favor right now because obviously he knows exactly what to do, how to go about doing it. And it's working very, very well for him. And he shows us all the time just how highly competent he is and how much the lengths he's willing to go to make people be held accountable for their word. If you'll recall, just 11 or 12 days ago now, Jugmeet Singh was quoted in the conservative motion, the non-confidence motion in the Trudeau government. He was quoted about how he has no faith in the government. But I'm sure that he was hoping he could say that, maybe to win back some votes and nobody would ever take him up on his words. But Poilievre did. And Poilievre has officially done that again because yesterday, Jugmeet Singh, just as Parliament is about to go and break for the holidays, they get a nice little 6 weeks off. He writes in the final moments when he will have a full 6 weeks to concoct a plan about how he's going to weasel his way and lie his way out of this one. He writes saying that he has no trust in the Trudeau government and that he will now be calling for a non-confidence motion and he will vote for a non-confidence motion. And while I'm sure that he did this, not realizing that he's sitting there drawing chalk on the sidewalk for hopscotch while Poilievre is playing chess right now and that he could just get away with it and this might make him look good for the next 6 weeks while he tries to figure out his next moves, if there's even any left at this point, because Canadians are very much waking up to him.
You said on Monday, and again, these are your words, not mine, that Justin Trudeau and the Liberals are focused only on themselves and not on Canadians. And yet you are the one who holds the power to actually put this to Canadians, but you are single-handedly keeping the Liberal government in power. Why is your support for them still on the table?
Well, right now there is no vote that would trigger an election, but what I'm saying is Justin Trudeau has shown to Canadians who are saying, I'm having a hard time with my life, I'm barely getting by. He's more focused on himself. He's more focused on fighting his own party than fighting for Canadians.
The whole year, you had the opportunity to put this to Canadians. So are you not focused on yourself too here?
Pierre Poilievre, yet again, says, I'm holding you to account. And he penned a letter just yesterday to the Governor General to get Parliament back in session immediately so that they can vote on this. Because as it stands, about 70% of the House of Commons have either written or verbally said that they do not have faith in the Trudeau government.
What happens from here is a big question mark. I would say we're kind of in unprecedented territory.
What is clear is that Justin Trudeau does not have the confidence of Parliament. Add them all up and you have 70% of parliamentarians who do not have confidence in the Prime Minister. And in the middle of a trade, border, crime, and cost of living emergency. This cannot go on.
So in this letter that was officially sent yesterday, Pierre Poilievre writes, "This chaos cannot continue. That's why I'm asking you to use your authority to inform the Prime Minister that he must either dissolve Parliament and call an election to reconvene Parliament on the earliest day that is not a statutory holiday before the end of the calendar year, to prove to you and Canadians that he has confidence of the House to continue as Prime Minister. In a crisis like this, with so much at stake for our country, all parliamentarians must put aside personal plans and act in the interest of Canadians." Now, the Liberal Party did meet and they did speak with the press following this announcement from Pierre Poilievre. And let me tell you, if you didn't resent them already, you certainly will after listening to this.
That if you're a minister sitting around the cabinet table, confidence in the Prime Minister is not optional. And I'll leave it at that.
And why do you think he's the right leader to lead the Liberal Party in the next election?
Well, we have, in the next 60 days, an existential threat for the Canadian economy, for people that could lose their jobs. The unemployment rate could double. We need to focus on that, and I think he's the best to lead us in a very difficult situation. We can't be in a situation where the government has no ability to fight back, and that's what needs to happen.
And now we have the opposition party calling for an election. Are you going to prorogue?
Well, Pierre Poilievre is pulling another one of his convoy moves. They tried that going to the Governor General and tried to turn some weird trick that somehow gets Pierre Poilievre where he needs to be. So it's another shtick. Is he going to bring donuts and coffee to the Governor General at the same time with his convoy people? I mean, this is ridiculous.
With his convoy people, trying to pull another convoy move. You mean standing up for Canadians? Marc Miller, you, sir, are an idiot. You, sir, have been a part of dwindling support in your party, because what are you doing while you like to accuse everybody else of being so divisive and hateful? You just ostracized an entire group of Canadians who were hurt by your government. And rather than do anything to rectify that and remedy it and improve those relationships, or I don't know, listen to them, you just mocked them again. And what does everybody else think about the convoy people? In fact, what does Donald Trump think about the convoy people and what Justin Trudeau did to them? Because you're trying to improve your relationship, and allegedly Trudeau is the best one to do it, right? So why don't we just hear it from Trump's own words?
We want those great Canadian truckers to know that we are with them all the way. They are. They've really shown something. The tyranny we have witnessed in Canada in recent weeks should shock and dismay people all over the world. In an advanced Western democracy, the peaceful movement of patriotic truckers, workers, and families protesting for their most basic rights and liberties has been violently put down. Their assets and life savings have been frozen. They have been slandered as Nazis, racists, and terrorists. These are the names they've been called. They've been arrested and charged with phony crimes. They've been falsely accused of loyalty to foreign powers. I watched them. I saw those maple leafs all over the flags and the love for their country. Plenty of Americans were there, too, and they love our country. They're being hunted down like enemies of their own government and treated worse than drug dealers and murderers or rapists. A line has been crossed. You're either with the peaceful truckers or you are with the left-wing fascists. And that's what's been happening. And it's been a strong line. We stand with the truckers and we stand with the Canadian people in their noble quest.
Marc Miller, you are an idiot. And you continue to divide your nation, which is exactly why you have lost. And you can't even realize it. You think you have a quick little one-up moment. You're an idiot. This is actually slightly more recent, but here's what Donald Trump Jr. had to say about the truckers when he was actually in Toronto for a Rumble Live event.
I noticed that the truckers were not afforded the same luxury of having the government pay for their bathrooms. I know that they were arrested. I know that they were debanked. I know they were threatened with their livelihoods and their jobs. And yet, if you're protesting a peaceful event under the guise of Marxism, leftism, Trudeauism, which may be further left than all of that. They're going to make other people pay for it. So it shows the disparate treatment. But thank you for doing that, by the way. I think it was such an awakening, even for us. And let everyone else know I said it, because the media will never do it. But no, whether it was there, whether it was the trucker convoy in America down by the border, I mean, it feels like the truckers are actually leading the charge of patriotism and freedom.
So many people who are in the political sphere were really hoping that Kamala Harris losing the election would be something that opened up the eyes of other world political leaders. And it is really something to witness when narcissists begin to lose how much they double down. And so I feel like this recent interview with Pierre Poilievre sums up pretty well exactly what the majority of Canadians are feeling right now.
It's hallucinogenic. It's a chaotic, costly clown show that Canadians are paying for. It would be entertaining and hilarious if it weren't so damaging to the daily lives of our people. Yeah, I mean, this is all part of the woke agenda to erase our culture, our symbols, our past, which allows authoritarian socialists to write over all of that with a brand new utopian ideology that, of course, will end in misery, as it always has everywhere it has been tried. The only way you can do that is by erasing the past. We will not allow our history to be erased. We will proudly honor and remember our history and build upon its solid foundation.
I'm Jasmine Lane. Thanks for watching another episode of Over Opinionated. I'm actually going to do a bit of a deeper dive into that same interview that Pierre Poilievre gave just yesterday with Toronto Sun's Brian Lilley. So that will be coming up very soon. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment your thoughts down below. The next time you see me, I am fully expecting to have at least 3 chins, as I am on my way to an early family Christmas. My brother, as you may know, works in the rigs, and so he is, I assume, in an attempt to not get laid off over the Christmas season. He's actually working throughout the holidays this year. So we're having it a little bit early to make sure that he can be a part of all of the food. Bonus, though, is he flies out tomorrow, which means that I get to take his share of leftovers.